questions for Coach Longo? Who wants to go first? We'll start with Beers.
Sorry, Chuck. Hey, Phil, I know that Jacob spent most of his time looking, I guess, at Cal's offensive personnel when he was there. But how can he help you prepare?
Jake Peeler has a knowledge of just about every kid on the team. I mean, I could probably give you a pretty accurate rundown of the defensive personnel here, and he's been able to give us, good person-to-person rundown, recap of each kid. So it always helps when you know personnel well. So that's obviously an advantage for us this week.
Give us your eval after watching the film of last Saturday, and from a passing standpoint, from a rushing standpoint.
Well, I try to coach the game unemotionally. I always tell the kids we want to play enthusiastically, but you don't want to play the game emotionally because you get a little too high, a little too low. And I've got to listen to my own advice because I let our lack of execution, which falls on my shoulders, affect me at the end of the game. So I didn't feel great coming off the game because the 4-minute series that we had at the end of the game wasn't pretty, and I wasn't happy with that. But, I just had to check myself and make sure I didn't let that skew what I thought was a very good response to some halftime adjustments the staff made. I thought they played very good and explosively in the second half, and that's what we wanted. Now, generally looking at the film, I was very happy overall.
Coach, somewhat of a slow start this weekend last week, but followed by a big third quarter. Are you worried about what a slow start might mean once you guys get into the thick of the schedule here with Cal and Alabama coming up?
No question. I think against the caliber of opponent that we'll be playing this year, and even against the two teams that we've already played, I think to get off, we had a really nice opening series drive against South Alabama, and then we really moved the ball in both first halves. The issue for me has been not finishing drives, and in each of the games we've had a first half turnover, which has really kind of stalled some things. So total yards and production wise, we've been fine, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't finish the drive. And so that was the emphasis at halftime in both games, and that'll be the emphasis this week with the away trip and all that. The focus is going to be on starting faster without question.
Coach, on some of your run, it seemed like you're still running the same thing, vanilla so far, I would say, in the first two games. Are you going to continue to add more to the playbook as times inspire?
Yeah, even though the offense is simple, I think earlier in the season, no matter where you are, you're going to run your basic foundational stuff first. You like to get good at the stuff you want to hang your hat on. But I do think as the season goes on, there'll be more wrinkles in the run game like there have been in the past game. So, there'll be a few things at Cal. But I'll say this like I'll say it every week. If they load up and put 8 in the box and give us throws, we won't take throws. Sure. If they're going to defend with 8 coverage-wise, we won't run the ball a lot. And so it really is just going to come down to what the defense decides is the priority. Sometimes it's been the whole game like the last 2 weeks. Sometimes it'll be by half or by drive or by play. But that's how we're built. We're built to ID where the space is, and then whether it's run or pass, we want to try to attack it.
Coach, how did Octavius Cooley play his first week of the season, and where is he right now in the progression of the offense?
Octavius Cooley I have to say, is an outstanding kid. And so, when you coach great kids like that, you get excited for them. I'm a fan of Octavius as much as I am a coach of Cooley's. I was really happy to see him come out. He practiced well. He did a good job of learning what he needed to learn. And for his first outing this year, because he missed game 1, I thought he did a good job. He made some heads-up plays. He's very physical. And for as big as he is, he's athletic. And so you're probably going to see his role in the offense grow as the season goes on.
As a guy that coaches an air raid offense, do you get tired of having to explain about the rushing game every week?
I'm
It's
gonna
the same
answer-
thing, isn't it?
I'm going to probably bore you with my answers, but we want the offense to be simple. The explanations are going to be simple, and some of my responses are going to be simple. They're not designed to skate questions, but you know, at the end of the day, that's really what we do. And so, I mean, Chuck, if they put everybody over on the right side, we're gonna run or throw on the left side. You know what I mean? If they put everybody deep, we're gonna do something underneath, whether it's run or pass. And, you know, I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but that's how we approach it with the players. That's how we want them to understand it. And it doesn't take a genius in the stands to sit and look at the field and go, hey, you know what, there's a lot of space deep right. They might be going there. Yeah, we will be. So, I mean, that's about as blunt as I can put it. I mean, that's really what we're looking for, space on just about every play.
Where is Jason Pellerin's development in the offense right now?
You know, Jason's an interesting guy. He has he's kind of caught in between. You know, he's not as big as some of the tight ends that are starting in front of him from a physical standpoint. He does a great job effort-wise physically in the box. And then you know, he's probably not as clean-cut a wide receiver as the outstanding group of receivers we have right now. And so, you know, he's really just been a victim of some great personnel at the two personnels that he is a hybrid between. And so at some point you're gonna see him, you know, I don't know when and where, but you will. And, you know, he's a guy, he's a great team player. He understands his role. And I think as the season goes on, you'll see more of him. But right now, I couldn't give you a specific, you know, role that he has outside of the tight end hybrid spot that he's playing right now.
Just kind of what have you seen so far from the Cal defense? I think they're 120th in pass defense. I mean, what do you think that's going to mean for your passing offense this week?
You know, statistics are helpful sometimes. You can skew them in any direction you want to. Regardless if they're last in the country in pass defense or first, if that's what they're giving up, that's what we're going to attack. I mean, so that's what it comes down to. I think, you know, sometimes stats are deceiving just because they may have had two teams that run the ball a lot against them or two teams that threw the ball a lot against them. Right now, I would say pass defense from our first two opponents doesn't look great because of the statistics that we had, but they might be a little bit better in pass defense than you might think. It just happens to be what we prioritized the first 2 weeks. So
what have you seen the first two from Cal?
you know, I think we match up well athletically up front, and I think we match up well athletically in the secondary with Cal. It's going to be more about us executing and doing our thing. There are some really good players out there. I think the one that we've identified as one of the more problematic players at Cal is number 9, defensive lineman. He's great with his hands. He's got some tremendous foot speed. He destroys blocks. He gets off blocks. So to me, that's the big scheme changer that we're worried about up front. And we're currently in the process of IDing the secondary guys right now.